Oh, hey everybody, welcome. I am so excited to be here with all of you today, and thanks for your patience. We had to deal with a little bit of a sound issue before we jumped on the live stream. So anyway, we are here, and I'm so excited to have you all with me today, and a big warm welcome to Carrie Riker. So Carrie is one of my most awesome clients, and she's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. She has a thriving practice in the area of really specializing in helping people that are struggling with gut issues, including irritable bowel syndrome. So we are going to chat with Carrie today, specifically around how she manages to make an extra $2K per month. You heard me right, an extra $2,000 a month in this membership model that she's created. And we're also going to talk about how she does it in, like, you would think that this would take a ton of time, right? I mean, certainly I would. An extra 2K a month, like normally, that would be, most likely a pretty time consuming proposition. So we're also going to delve into how she manages to do this in about 1 to 2 hours a week. All right. So I'm going to hand it over to Carrie, and I'd love for you just to introduce yourself, Carrie, and just let the audience know a little bit about your background.
Yeah, Leslie, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be with you today and discussing this hot topic that's so easy. People just can't believe that it's true. So, like you mentioned, I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee, originally from Illinois, but relocated down here. And Leslie, you helped me start my private practice almost a year ago to date, full time. And so I predominantly do, like you mentioned, digestive issues. I'm based in the insurance model too. I would say that 95% of my clients are insurance based as well. So this accountability program that you helped me create was really, based on that insurance-based model, knowing that, hey, I need another revenue stream without, having to see more face-to-face one-on-one clients. So it's been so beneficial and helping me thrive and have confidence that there's always something coming in regardless of me seeing people one-on-one.
Right. So, all right. So let's go back in time a little bit. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah.
I remember that so well. The day you told me, well, the first step was, you just starting your practice, right?
Right.
So dipping your toe in, you had a full-time job. I remember talking to you that first time and saying, you know what, I really want to have a better quality of life. I'm spending so much time commuting back and forth in Nashville with the traffic getting so bad. I really want to start my own practice, right? Yes. And with the goal being to build it up so that you could eventually leave your full-time job. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah. Well, working with you helped me to figure out how to narrow my niche down to a target audience, so that way I can cater to that audience. And then, marketing to local physicians that I had a network with and that. So building that. And then we knew that, hey, if I need to leave my full-time job right away, I needed some more avenues of income coming in. And so that's when, working with you, we created the accountability program. Since I was using a meal planning program already, but you encouraged me to, set it up a little bit differently where I can increase the revenue coming in, and without much more work to it. And so once that, was an easy process to start that membership program, what I call the accountability program. And I had an increase of clients that I just didn't have time anymore to do my full-time job and see clients on the weekend. So I took that leap of faith and left my full-time job with benefits and never looked back. So
yeah, a year ago. Exactly. Bravo. I'm sure this is great news and really quite inspirational to, I'm sure, a lot of people that are in our audience today. I think the big message here is it can be done. You absolutely 100% can set your mind to creating a thriving practice, doing the work you love, seeing the clients that you really enjoy helping, and transitioning out of the crazy 9 to 5. It's not even 9 to 5, right? Like, let's be honest, that's a misnomer in of itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, especially when you add the commute and things like that. So awesome. So we started then in terms of our, I guess, strategy for Carrie. We started by really getting clear on the target market, the niche, how she helps people, really putting that into powerful language, right? Because obviously in our marketing, we wanted to ensure that Carrie's target audience was crystal clear when they saw her website and some of her copy, any of her marketing, that they had a good sense of the problems that Carrie could help them solve, right? Which is super important, guys. If you take one of the messages today is it's super important to position yourself as a problem solver in the market, right? Because people will pay, they will invest if they are clear that you can help them to overcome a specific problem that they're experiencing. So that's really where we started in terms of messaging. Then we created her services and got really clear on the fact that, especially in the insurance model, we wanted to have a strategy to be able to overcome one of the biggest obstacles in that model. And that is where the clients, they come see you maybe once or twice, and that's it. And then they drop off. That doesn't help anyone, right? So Carrie and I, we put our heads together and came up with a strategy to help her, to be able to offer services to elongate that experience with the client, which turns out to be a win-win, right? The client, they're more apt to be all in. You're going to attract really committed, awesome clients. And, from Carrie's perspective, and I want you to speak to this, just kind of the joy of being able to see people through fruition, right? To be able to actually get them to the other side, to those results that they want so badly. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, having this type of membership program really helps to build that, rapport with patients and relationship with them, that they feel heard. And because we all know that the work really happens in between sessions. And so having them be part of a membership program has been really helpful to build that relationship and trust, and that they know that, hey, they can come talk to us at any point of time and to help, work through the things that they're going through. So it's really helped them stay on track with me. So even if they're, the insurance-based model, even if they've exhausted their insurance benefits for the year, they're probably going to keep going on with me as well,
Right.
For a maintenance program. So it's been beneficial that way, just for client retention as well.
Awesome. So let's drill down a little bit, okay? Because I'm sure that our audience is probably really curious about, how you put together this accountability program. So can you talk to me a little bit about the program? Who is it for specifically? And tell us a little bit about what's included.
Yeah. So I just call it my accountability program, just because we know that the work happens in between sessions, that we don't lose clients in between. And what it is that everybody gets a weekly meal plan. I use the platform Eat Love for automated meal planning solutions. And then I do send weekly motivational tips, and it's just really generic. It could be something that I even used on social media that week or something like that. So it doesn't have to be, you're creating something new every week that you can, circle those around again. And then I also do, with Eat Love, it does have a food log as well. So I'm able to quickly review the client's food logs. And if they need to, I can send them just some meal suggestions as well. But the meal plans are already automated, so I don't even have to send people every week meal plans. It's done for them. So it's super easy. I would say that most clients use it for meal planning solutions. So for example, when people used to come to me, they would want meal plans, but as a dietitian in me, I would say, hey, I need to teach you how to eat versus giving you a plan. to follow, but that's what people want. And so they were going out to other people that aren't even dietitians or programs that are not nutritionally evidence-based or for them, and paying for it. So it's like, well, if they're going to pay for it and that's what they're looking for, then I need to offer this. And so, I found that using Eat Love for me personally has been an easy solution, that they are getting the prescription that's made for them, and it takes the guesswork out of it. So for example, like I said, I see a lot of digestive issues. So if they're on a low FODMAP diet, that is so confusing. It takes the stress out of eating for them. So that way they know what they should be eating. Or even if it's a diabetic that needs carb counting, that's great that they, they don't know what 45 grams of carbs looks like for a mealtime. So it shows them what that looks like as well. So it takes the guesswork out of it for people. Awesome. So they really love the meal plans, just to have ideas and not search on Pinterest or, other websites, but it's just right there in their face that it's easy to use.
Yeah. It's so interesting because, people want it. Like, that's really the bottom line, is consumers want help with meal planning, right? So I completely agree with you that based on that need and want, we need to deliver, right? Otherwise, everybody really loses out. So tell me specifically, like, what are the different, so you've got meal planning, obviously, in your program. Are there any other elements that you're including? And tell me a little bit about, I know it's personalized in terms of the meal planning. Can you tell me what they get? So do they, meeting your client, do they actually go into the system, into your Eat Love meal planning system, and generate their own meal plans based on your recommendations? So first, tell me what's included. Are there any other things that you're including in this membership? And then what's the deliverables on the meal planning side?
Yeah. So I would think the hook is, meal plans. And so what it looks like is that I go into their account, I create an account for them, a personalized account. And, what's great about Eat Love is it creates a personalized nutrition prescription for them. So I put in, their anthropometric data, as well as I can see what kind of nutrients they need, all the way from their macros, all the way down to their vitamins and minerals. And then I can choose what kind of diet program they want to follow. So if I need them to follow the low FODMAP elimination diet, if I need them to do, a diet for low sodium. I mean, there's so many different programs out there that, is for a specific disease state. So that's great. And then you can also add any food sensitivities or allergies in addition to that. And so with that, what they call the Lena technology, the AI technology, is that it automatically creates a meal plan for them. Yes, I do on my end for the very first time. I'll send a recommended meal plan to them, which they'll see in their documents, but they can choose to schedule that one. I think the key to this program is that it's, when I used to create meal plans, people get bored with it. It didn't fit their taste preferences. And so they are capable of swapping out meals to fit their taste preference. And so I think it's something like 60% of people will change out the meals that I send to them, so this way they can swap it out to what suits their taste preference, even to their skill level as well. Because I've had some people that are even chefs use this meal planning program. And then I've had some people that, they would just prefer making just toast and for breakfast, something super simple. So you can make it easy or complex with it. So you get, automated meal plans every week. So I don't even have to do it for them. And then they also get with it a grocery list too. So if they, with those meal plans, they don't even have to try to sort through everything. They get a grocery list and they can order it online, even if they want. And then they can also keep a dietary food log on it with notes as well. And so I'll go through once a week, just reviewing everybody's food log, which is super simple for me. I'll send weekly motivation tips for everybody. And then I will also allow them to have access to me for messaging, and I set hours for them too, so I'm not working on the weekends and that. But I will have they can send me they can send me messages at any time as well to help them.
Oh, that's incredible. Okay, so those are the things that are included. So basically, access to the meal planning platform, and in your using Eat Love. So you go in and set the prescription, the nutrition prescription. It sounds like you give them a sample the first time, and then they go in and they're able to access it as part of their membership, right? Yes. Moving forward. And then the other things that you're including, I believe you said a couple of motivational emails each week, right? To help people stay inspired and on track, and the ability to message you between sessions, right? That's the accountability piece. Kind of like having an RD in your back pocket, right? That's kind of what I would compare that to. Within reason, right? We're not talking like no boundaries here. We're talking, nice boundaries in place so that it works for both people. And then, the meal, the food logging, right?
Correct.
So that you go in, and I do remember chatting with you about kind of reining in how to manage checking the food logs, right? And I remember really, thinking back how we both agreed, like, okay, let's say we're just going to do it once a week. Here's your block of time. Here's, this is it, right? Like in other words, you're not going to be doing it every day because that would just be crazy.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah.
That would just be too much. Okay. So is that everything? Did I miss anything?
You hit the nail on the head.
Awesome. So it's a really nice program. All right. So what I want to do is kind of transition into how long it takes you, how many people you have, and we've got some questions coming in terms of, I'll show one. Hey, Carrie, welcome. So happy to have you. Is it cash pay or insurance? And also your signature program. So how do you do that? And so we need to, I think, take a step back and kind of explain the cash versus the insurance, just to make this really, really clear. So, so let's start with how many people you have and what you charge, right? Yeah. And also how long it takes. And then let's transition into the model in terms of payment.
Yeah. So right now I've consistently have had 20 clients in the program here for the past, I don't know, probably since June. And so I have 20 clients in there, and then it takes me a maximum of 2 hours per week, if even that, to be honest, to review food logs and then send them a message, because the food log makes it super simple to just kind of click through, browse through everybody's food logs. And if I see that they're not meeting their nutritional goals or things like that, I'll ask them how, what's going on, or what can I help with, things like that. So it really doesn't take much time at all. So if you think about between, I'm charging $97 a month per client. And so that, and it's on a subscription model. And so it's a monthly fee of $97 a month with 20 clients a month. So it's a no-brainer that, I'm making a lot more money doing the membership model than just trying to fill that time with a one-on-one client.
Right. Okay. Perfect. So basically, you have 20 people in it on average at any given time, and we're charging $97 a month. So obviously we can do the math there. That's a nice extra bit of income coming through your business. And guys, the key to this model is you're not selling your one-to-one time, because at a certain point in your business, you're going to run out of time to sell, right? And plus, who can't use an extra $2K a month, right? I can, and it's just so nice to have a healthy business has multiple revenue streams coming in. Absolutely. So you're not 100% reliant on one thing. So it's a really beautiful model. And I honestly want to encourage every single person that is on, actually, if you're listening live, as well as, if you're going to be catching the replay, So I really want to encourage everyone to think about how you can begin to, plan out and actually implement some kind of a membership model where you're getting reoccurring income. That is the key. And you're doing it in a way that doesn't require your one-to-one time. Okay. I'm a huge fan of one-to-one. Don't get me wrong, right? Like it's a huge part of my business still. And there are so many advantages to having, this one-to-one interaction. That being said, though, it's just incredibly, it's a win-win all the way around when you can diversify your offerings and, have some recurring income is really the bottom line. So what I want to get clear on now, Carrie, is, how this is working in, cash versus insurance, right? Because I think there might be a little bit of confusion. And I want to just take that off the table so everyone is clear. So in your practice, you're mostly insurance for your face-to-face sessions, right?
Correct.
So how do you position the membership when you're taking insurance? And is it cash?
Yeah, so it's cash. So insurance at this time is not covering meal planning. And so how I position it is I can tell when I'm meeting with clients, they're saying, I just don't know what to eat. I wish I had some people will say, I wish I had a plan. So I listen to their cues and then I'll show them, well, I have a meal planning solution for you because we know that work happens in between sessions that'll help take the guesswork out of it for them. And so either I'm doing telehealth or in person, I'll go ahead and I'll pull up Eat Love and I'll walk them through it. And I would say probably 90% of the time people are like, oh my gosh, that's me. I need this. This is awesome. And then once I kind of got them hooked and loving the program, then I say, well, this is part of my accountability program because we know that, you need this ongoing support and taking the stress out of eating for you. And so, this is the cost of the program. And I would say most of the people are good with it, or they have to talk to their spouse if they're good with it. Because you can also incorporate your family into the meal plans too, which is nice for, any people that's cooking more for them than just themselves. But I have them then sign an accountability contract so that way they know what they're getting and when to stop the program. And then I create it takes me literally less than 10 minutes to set it all up. So.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy.
So basically then, just to be clear, in your model, and everyone listening, I just want to be clear, your model may be different, right? You may be in the cash model, right? And if that's the case, this may look a little bit different for you, right? So, but for Carrie, who's mostly in the insurance model, her one-to-one sessions go through insurance, right?
Yes.
And do you talk to your, and the membership is an add-on and it's cash, right? So what I want to wrap my mind around is, when do you actually talk to your clients about joining this the membership program? So let's say you get a new client today. Are you going to suggest this tool, this membership accountability program from the get-go?
So there's a couple different ways I do it. So I will have some people that call me and ask for meal plannings, and I'll tell them that I do have a meal planning solution we can talk about later at our first session. And so usually I reserve it for towards the end of that very first initial consult when we've gone through their typical eating patterns and then I can hear kind of where they want and need the most help and guidance with. And you can use your intuition and see that, hey, they really need meal planning, would benefit from meal planning solutions. And so that's when I offer that up to them, is most of the time at the end of the initial consult, at the goal setting time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay. Goal setting. Awesome. That's fantastic. And then do you, since Eat Love is an integral component of this accountability program, do you actually open your computer and do a demonstration?
Yes, I actually do show them. So I either share my screen on telehealth, it's super easy, or I'll share my computer screen when I'm in person just because we're all mainly visual learners. And so you really need to see how easy it is. It makes it, and plus when they see all the recipes, and there's like 5,000 recipes in there, that it's enticing that way to know that they're not just limited to just a couple recipes.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. And shopping lists. I feel like the shopping lists are just huge. Like,
Yes.
Because that's a very time consuming part of sitting down and doing a meal plan, right? Is, oh my gosh, now I gotta do the whole shopping list thing. So, so let me take a peek. Oh, I know. I wanted to ask you, so you're billing $97 per month at the beginning of each month, right?
Well, whenever they sign up for it. So if they sign up today on January 21st, then it's going to be a monthly.
Okay.
When I first charge that card, it'll be that day of the month.
Okay, great. All right. So it's dependent, but basically you're charging once a month, and that day of the month is dependent on when they actually join. So I wanted to ask you, like, what's the average duration that you're retaining people inside of this accountability program? Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I would say for the most part, at least 3 months, especially since I do a lot of low FODMAP. It takes at least 12 weeks to go through that, those diet phases. But I've had some people use it just for 1 month, just for general ideas. And then I've had people on it for over a year because they love it so much. So, but I would say the most average is 3 months time frame.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to comment just briefly because I know I recognize some names that are with us today, and I just wanted to comment just briefly about, give you a couple of tips that you can use to create your own membership program if you're in a cash model, because I know many of you have moved into the cash model, which is great. So basically what we're looking at here is you could basically put together this type of membership or accountability program, and you could integrate it into your signature program. Hang on. Yeah, forgot to turn the ringer off. So you could integrate it as part of your signature program. All right. So that's tip number one, is the integration into your program, which really increases the value of what you're doing with your client, I think, exponentially. The next thing you can do is, like, let's say you're working with someone, I don't know, let's just say for 6 months, right? And after that 6 months, maybe they don't actually need the same level of intensity in terms of the frequency of your one-to-one contact, for example. So like this type of membership or accountability program could be an option for like a step down, right? Because many clients are going to want to retain and have some ability to be in touch with you, right? Like maybe it's not as intense. They don't have as many questions, right? They're like doing pretty well. So you could also position this as kind of like a step down in order to elongate that relationship and really help them continue to make progress in achieving their goals, just not as intense. All right. So those are just a couple of ideas to get you thinking. We have lots of really great questions coming in. So I want to, let's see. So, all right, let's take this question. Hey, Susan, welcome. Any insight about integrating into Healthy? Which you'd be the perfect person because I know you use Healthy.
Yeah, Susan, good question. So I do use Healthy, and how I use Healthy with Eat Love is, so I build the package into Healthy. So I charge them that monthly subscription. I set it up so that it's just a rolling every month until they tell me when to stop. So I don't put an end date in the package on Healthy. And then I do use the Healthy account for them to send me the messages. And Eat Love, they can send messages there, but I didn't want two platforms that to try to keep up with messaging. So I do use Healthy for messaging as well. And if some people prefer to keep their food log and healthy with a photo food journal, they could do that too. And you could I use Healthy actually to send mass messages. So in Healthy, you can set it where you either send a message blast that everybody can see everybody's name as if it's a group. But I would say for my clients, most people don't want to be in a group and have people know their personal, what they're going through. They want to be more private. So I just send it as a blast to everybody so that way it's just going to that person, that they don't have a group communication back to them. So I do use Healthy, and it's been pretty easy to use as well.
Okay, perfect. Love that. This is a really interesting question from Nicole. I want to make sure that we get this. Isn't this interesting, Carrie? How long were you working in private practice before you started this membership program? I think you're going to be really surprised at the answer. All right. So take it away, Carrie.
Yeah. When did we, I know we started this when I was actually still working full time. So I think it was about, I left my full-time job in February of last year. And I think it was about October, November that we started this, and it caught on super fast. You know, I feel like I'm not a salesperson, and this was just such an easy conversation to have with clients that you can tell, in their voice and reflections that they're needing more help and structure. Some people just want that structure. So it was easy to do. So I wasn't even in my full-time private practice yet when I started.
Yeah. It was, so bottom line, guys, it was super early in the process. She didn't wait. She didn't let the proverbial grass grow under her feet, so to speak, right? And guys, the reason we did it is because in the insurance model, let's be clear, you are not getting paid for all the work you're doing on the side. Okay. You're not getting paid for that. Insurance does not cover that. So if you are doing a lot of emailing, messaging, meal planning, like, you guys really need to be charging for that. And so bottom line is, we got Carrie going in terms of, getting clear on some of the messaging, the positioning in the market. She was making huge progress in getting clients, right? So visibility, client attraction strategies, all those things. And then we very quickly realized that there was an opportunity to help clients in that period between sessions. Like Carrie even said, that's where the growth, a lot of the magic happens, right? In between sessions for clients. So we decided to set this up, right? So that she was able to get paid for the stuff that she probably otherwise would have done for free, in all honesty. Don't you think? Let's be honest. So guys, I urge you, don't wait. Like, do it sooner rather than later. It's not very hard. So I think we've got and hopefully that helps you answer that question, Nicole. Alyssa, thank you. I'm glad this is helpful for you, Alyssa. How do you set up the subscriptions? And do clients see you for one-to-one sessions while they're in the accountability, or do they transition to the accountability after they no longer need the one-on-one? Excellent question. So let's try to answer that.
Yeah, Alyssa, great question. And so how I set up the subscription model is, like I said, I just literally call it my accountability program, just keep it simple. And I have in my contract that the patient is to tell me when they're done with the meal plans. And then once they're done with the meal plans, then I just stop their subscription automatically and stop their payments with it. And so when I start the Eat Love meal plans, I would have met with them at least one time with the one-on-one consult. And then usually, like, I do have some clients that are still using it past the point of us working together. And so they just want the meal plans and motivation. And so they've been on it. Well, I haven't seen them in like 6 months, but they love the program. And so it's just, automatic.
Yeah, it's like
they really use it just for the meal planning is what they love it for. So
yeah,
it's easy.
Awesome. So hopefully that answers that one. So the bottom line really is that you're using it with many of your clients during the entire experience with the client, right?
Yeah.
So people that just start working with you and are also having one-to-one sessions, as well as some of your clients as they transition out of the one-to-one sessions, you're still obviously connected to them,
Yes.
but albeit in a different way, right?
Correct.
Which is exactly what we want. Let's see. So what is the bottom line for income and how much is the program to purchase? Yeah, so this is probably, it's probably something that, and I don't know if you have a comment on that, Carrie, but
Yeah.
I would recommend that anyone that wants more information, go right to Eat Love to get your questions answered. I think I've got, yeah, so go to their website, and I put their site on the screen just for easy access. But do you have any comments on that as well, Carrie?
Yeah, so I'm in their small practice pro, which is you can have up to 76 patients, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Per month with it, and it's, I believe, $79 a month or $950 a year. So if you think about that, I've paid off the yearly subscription in 1 month. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then if you think about it, I'm only spending less than 2 hours a week, looking at food logs, I'm still making a huge profit, with that time saving as well, with that volume of people. So,
okay.
Yeah,
that's key. Yeah, I mean, the time, so really, and you bring up a good point that I want to make sure that everyone's clear on. If you had to go in as your coach, I would tell you this, honestly, Carrie. I would say, all right, if this is taking you a ton of time to personalize everything, to plan everything, to go into the software and do all of this individually, I'm going to tell you, I would say we got to charge a heck of a lot more.
Yeah.
Right? So that is, I think, an important point. And the reason why we can keep the membership within reason, right? Which at the $97 a month point, right? Which is, I think it's absolutely doable for the client, and it's nice for Carrie as well. It's a nice balance. But to be clear, if it was a super time consuming process, as Carrie's coach, I would say, you know what, we got to bump up that price. So really, really important. Okay, so let's see. We have so many good questions. Carrie, this is a hot topic.
And it's so easy. There's no reason there's no reason to not jump in,
Yeah.
So it's such a easy model that, it's practical to use, and you can just start as early as today. Really, it's just making sure you have that program and the contract. It's just a 1-page contract for people to sign and start right away.
There you go. Yeah. So we're kind of running low on time at this point, so we're going to have to wrap up. Guys, this is what I do for a living, right? So I'm really passionate about helping practitioners, wellness professionals who are in private practice to create a thriving business, really being able to serve those people that you love to help, right? So, if you are ready to bring your practice to the next level, I welcome you to reach out. LeslieBytel.com. I'll actually put that in the comments. Just reach out to me and we can explore, what your options are. All right, put my email, or actually, okay, put it in the chat. Hopefully it went through. Any parting words of wisdom, Carrie, that you want to share?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Leslie, you have been a godsend to me for sure to getting my
Thanks.
business off the ground and, your insight and wisdom because you are, a business coach, but bottom line, you're also an RD that knows how we work and how we can most, I think a lot of us dietitians undervalue our work. And so you
Oh,
provide that encouragement and guidance to say, no, you need to you're way more valued than what you're charging and things like that. So,
yeah.
um, having
And
programs such as this accountability program has been helpful for me to make a sustainable and living that I never thought that I could. So, thank you.
yeah, that's incredible. Oh my gosh, so incredible. I all I can say is like you guys can do this. Like, oh my gosh, you can so do this and it's absolutely possible. And I get really fired up when I have Carrie on the line because she's such a great example of what's possible, right? To be able to, have her dream job, basically working out of her house now with two
Yeah.
little kids at home, right?
Hmm.
Which I know is not very easy right now, unless,
Right.
I don't know, that's a whole nother topic. We won't even go there, but,
Uh-huh.
with the pandemic and everything. But, to be able to quit her full-time job, and it was a great job, right? With
Hmm.
benefits. And,
Yeah.
I just want to say that Carrie's living proof. And I have actually lots of clients that are living proof that you can do this. So, all right. So we are going to have to sign off. I mean, we could do this again. I don't know, Carrie.
Yeah.
Maybe we could jump on another live in a month or so and just
Mhm.
kind of reconnect. And I'd love to find out, like from our audience, what kind of progress you've made moving forward with this concept. So be on the lookout. If Carrie's up for it, I'd love to jump on another live and we can, kind of banter ideas around and check in to see, how you've been able to progress. So
Yeah.
anyway, happy New Year to you all. I hope your year is off to a great start. And Carrie, thanks again, really so very much for your time and your willingness to share and inspire others. All
Yes. Thank
right.
you so much, Leslie.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.